Money King. In a shanty house nestled within a crowded neighborhood, Mandy, Abraham's wife, found herself serving a humble meal to her remaining child. The little plate she held slipped from her grasp, its contents shattering onto the floor. This unfortunate accident only added to the burden that already weighed heavily on Mandy's heart. As she crouched to clean the mess, an inexplicable sense of dread overcame her. A foreboding feeling clung to her thoughts, as if something terrible were unfolding, either to her kidnapped child or Abraham. She couldn't ignore this ominous sensation. Her child, now crying from hunger and distress, mirrored her own inner turmoil. With determination in her eyes, Mandy cleared away the broken plate and prepared a replacement, although their meager food supply meant that both she and her child would sleep hungry that night. Outside, the world seemed to be unraveling. The air filled with screams and frantic shouts, drawing Mandy's attention. Smoke and an eerie, orange glow painted the sky, marking the nearby market in flames. A gnawing fear crept over her. She suspected that the kidnappers might be responsible. Desperate to reach Abraham and with trembling hands, Mandy tried calling him, but his number wouldn't connect. Outside her window, neighbors scurried with buckets of water, trying to quell the fiery devastation threatening their community. After briefly calculating the losses she had suffered at her market stall, Mandy returned inside, locking the door behind her. With her child by her side, she anxiously awaited Abraham's return, hoping he would bring their missing child back safely. Regret gnawed at her heart as she realized the harsh words she'd exchanged with Abraham earlier. She unfairly blamed him for their child's abduction, but deep down, she knew they were a team, bound by love and determination. In the midst of this chaotic turmoil, a loud, ominous knocking at the door shattered the silence within the shanty. Panic surged through Mandy. She was trapped with nowhere to escape. Ignoring the knocks wasn't an option as they grew louder and more insistent. Taking her child, she instructed them to hide under the bed and remain silent, no matter what they heard. Armed with a crude weapon, Mandy steeled herself, positioned near the door, ready to confront whatever threat lay on the other side. This could very well be Phyllis's henchmen, seeking to extend their reach and cause harm to Abraham's family. The suspenseful silence that followed only heightened the tension. With an eerie creak, the door handle turned, and the door slowly inched open. The sound sent chills down Mandy's spine, adrenaline pumping through her veins. Her instincts screamed at her to protect her remaining child at all costs. In an act of sheer courage, she unleashed a warrior's scream and launched herself at the intruder, delivering powerful blows in rapid succession. The intruder yelped in pain, pleading for her to stop, insisting that he posed no harm, and that he was called to join Abraham's search team. Reluctantly, Mandy ceased her assault, though she remained vigilant. The intruder explained that he had received a call from Abraham and his colleague Evanjo a few hours ago but was bewildered when their calls went unanswered. Easing her guard slightly, Mandy listened to his story. He introduced himself as Anthony, an ex-military man who, along with Evanjo, had ventured into engineering after retiring. He clarified that Abraham had asked for their assistance, and Evanjo provided them with the coordinates to Abraham's house, supplied by Jojo as a precaution in case they lost contact during the rescue mission. Convinced of Anthony's sincerity, Mandy inquired about any contact from Abraham, only to reveal the strained communication since their argument. The worry she felt deepened as the sense of foreboding persisted. Anthony then asked if she had any idea of their whereabouts. Mandy knew that they had embarked on a journey to find their kidnapped child, and the one who might hold the answers was Jojo, who remained unreachable due to his lack of a phone. Their only lead lay in the direction of the commotion, the burning market. Determined to unravel the mystery and bring her family back together, Mandy chose to accompany Anthony on the perilous journey. Despite Anthony's attempts to persuade her to stay behind, Mandy called a friend to take care of her child and set out with her newfound ally. Their path led them through the raging flames of the market. Amidst the chaos, they encountered a crowd of people desperately trying to extinguish the fire. Mandy inquired about Abraham's whereabouts, but everyone was occupied with the firefighting effort. When the flames were finally contained, the gathered crowd turned their attention to the gang responsible for the destruction, their lives forever altered by this calamity. Emotions ran high, with anger festering among the victims. Mandy's pleas for information about Abraham and Jojo went unanswered. They had been engaged in a fierce battle against the gang, who had retreated after causing the chaos, leaving a clear message of their ruthless new rule over the neighborhood. In her moment of despair, one resident suggested that if her child had been kidnapped by the untouchables, Abraham might have ventured into the lion's den to rescue him. This revelation ignited a spark of determination within Mandy, but she had no clue where to start her search. Suddenly, a man rushed towards the crowd, claiming to have tracked the gang to their hideout. The enraged crowd demanded retribution. urging the man to lead them to the gang's lair. Anthony, looking at Mandy's frustration and anger, insisted that she should return home to safeguard her child. Back at the gang's hideout, Phyllis reveled in the moment of having Jojo and Abraham at his mercy. Abraham clung to his child, determined to protect him with his life. Phyllis, moving closer to the pair, ominously assured them he would uphold that promise. Jojo, recognizing the gravity of the situation, remained silent, fearing that any words might trigger Phyllis's violent tendencies. Then, Phyllis shifted his attention to Jojo, confronting him with a demand: "Give me a good reason why I shouldn't shoot you right now." A heavy silence hung in the air between Jojo and Phyllis. The gang leader pressed further, threatening to pull the trigger if Jojo didn't respond. Jojo, surprisingly, answered by stating that even if Phyllis killed him, he had no one left to live for. Phyllis was taken aback by Jojo's response and began to pace back and forth, avoiding the topic momentarily. He sarcastically asked Abraham if he was hungry, but Abraham chose not to respond. Phyllis cruelly pointed out that Abraham's child was experiencing hunger, as he hadn't eaten since the day of his abduction. Abraham couldn't bear to see his child suffering and asked Phyllis why he couldn't at least offer some food to the child, even if it was part of keeping him active, possibly for a ransom. Phyllis responded with a mean laugh, dismissing any responsibility. He taunted Abraham, branding him a failure as a father, and declared, "I can't feed your child. Am I his mother? That was your responsibility, Abraham." The tension escalated, and Jojo could sense that Abraham was reaching a breaking point. He urged Abraham to stay calm, understanding the dire circumstances they were in. Meanwhile, Phyllis relished their helplessness, revealing a sinister grin. The season finale of Money King promises to be an electrifying conclusion, full of suspense, action, and determination. Stay tuned for the thrilling conclusion of this season, and don't forget to like and subscribe to follow this epic journey to its end.